The ALBA bloc has condemned the United States' adoption of the NICA Act, which imposes severe economic and financial restrictions on Nicaragua. The Venezuelan Foreign Minister Jorge Arreaza tweeted a communique from the Bolivarian Alliance of the Peoples of Our America. It says, the country of the ALBA TCP condemned this violation of the most elementary norms of international law. It says the legislation is an attack on the sovereignty of the entire region. The Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro has announced that over 2 million new homes will be built for the Venezuelan people. Under the social program Misión Vivienda, homes are built for the most disadvantaged families. The program came into force by Hugo Chavez in 2011. In 2019, almost 24 million people will benefit from the scheme. The goal is to build 5 million homes by 2025. On Wednesday, Maduro gave away 92 key to new homes. And in Guyana, because the government will be...
Exact same thing. Now we have a long, long border, but we'll have the exact same thing. Now there may be the case of an Olympic champion who can get over the wall, but for the most part, it's you're not able to do it. Very high, it's going to be 30 feet. Much of it is 30 feet high, some of it's lower. But in some areas we have it as high as 30 feet. That's like a 3-story building.
Time for a first break. If you are from the South, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Telesur English and my personal account, Laura P. Telesur. Stay with us.
Pakistani journalist Tariq Ali examines the mass media influence promoted by imperialism. Get access to the analysis of the socio-economic and political life of the whole South America on our screen and platform in English. A critical place committed to the truth to determine the major events that transform the world today. Mondays, only on Telesur. Enjoy our programming from Monday to Friday, where you'll find the best information on culture, innovation, conservation, human well-being. Keep up to date on the latest innovations in science and technology with Atomun. The habits and knowledge you need to live a healthy lifestyle are on Guide Your Body. Environmental consciousness is required to preserve our Earth. Undergo your transformation on Green Zone. All about equity, diversity, and respect for identities on By Gender. Cultural manifestations, they are in all its forms and the stories of real lives. Every day we feature a wide variety of content. Only on Telesur, the news source from Latin America and the Caribbean. Follow the most important global events through a comprehensive perspective. With a team of journalists in 25 locations around the world to convey our people's reality. From the South. Weekdays. Only on Telesur. Telesur brings you special interviews with social and political personalities. Monday, from Washington. Tuesday, from Mexico. Wednesday, from Caracas. Thursday, from Quito. Friday, from Havana. Analysis about our continent's reality. Weekdays, only on Telesur.
Welcome back. And we continue in the United States, and our correspondent Alina Duarte updates us about the government shutdown.
The partial shutdown on the U.S. government that started on December 22nd will likely drag on. Trump has made his demands $5 billion to build and strengthen the border wall. As congressional leaders and the White House appear to make little progress toward a deal, the shutdown could last past January the 3rd, when Democrats take control over the House. Meanwhile, failures in U.S. migration policies became evident again. For the second time in less than a month, a minor died while in the custody of border police. This time is Felix Gomez, an 8-year-old boy from Guatemala. In response to this latest development, the Democrats have said they will attempt to determine the health conditions of detained minors. Let's remember that some days ago, after the death of Jacqueline Cow, the National Security Secretary, Kristen Nielsen, did not know how many minors died under migratory authorities' custody. The border police has promised to conduct an independent and complete investigation into the circumstances.
And President Donald Trump has also made a surprise visit to U.S. troops in Iraq just days after the Pentagon chief resigned. President Trump said he won't pull troops out of Iraq. He plans to make it a military base to carry out operations in Syria and against the Islamic State. It's his first visit to a combat zone and comes less than a week after the announcement of the withdrawal of troops from Syria. This move led to the resignation of the Defense Secretary, James Mattis. And in Spain, is set to open the first ever retirement home for the LGBTQ community in Madrid. The retirement home will be located in a 4-story building and will house over 60 permanent residents and 30 additional people in daycare center. The establishment was funded through an 8-year campaign for donations from the public. It is currently being refurbished, but is expected to open its doors in June 2019.
The approach of this model is absolutely cutting edge. We know that other countries in Europe came here showing an interest in this model because I think it is very special and it has been developed with a lot of care and love. And of course, we are very proud and delighted that we can participate in a project like this.
And we continue in Spain, where hundreds of migrants in Europe are still fleeing Africa, even during these festivities. Our correspondent in Spain, Sergio Rodrigo, has the details.
Muy buenas tardes, un saludo muy fuerte a toda la audiencia.
On December 24th and 25th, more than 50 people were rescued by the Spanish Coast Guard. 4 boats have also gone missing with 200 people on board. So far, 50 people who were on one of those vessels have been rescued, while 6 others on a smaller boat were also brought to safety. More than 60,000 people have tried to reach Europe via the Mediterranean Sea route, and so the death toll keeps growing. And according to the International Organization for Migration, at least 700 people have disappeared or died trying to reach Spain.
And the Guatemalan Foreign Ministry says that 11 members of the International Commission Against Impunity will be allowed to enter the country after being expelled by President Jimmy Morales. With this announcement, the Foreign Ministry is complying with a resolution of the Constitutional Court, which ordered the renewal of visas for the CIG officials. On December 18, the employees of the organizations were given 72 hours to leave Guatemala. Time for a second break. More news when we are back.
With developing events being presented through analysis, our coverage transcends borders. With renowned journalist Walter Martinez.
Salud amigos, tripulantes de nuestra querida, contaminada y única nave espacial.
Dossier. Weekdays. Only on Telesur.
Y ponga usted las cámaras, señor director.
The ruling world order has always subjugated the masses. But who are the actors behind every move? What are their real interests? We analyze every move on Critical Move. Weekdays, only on Telesur. The Pakistani journalist Tariq Ali examines the mass media influence promoted by imperialism. Get access to the analysis of the socio-economic and political life of the whole South America on our screen and platform in English. A critical place committed to the truth to determine the major events that transform the world today. Mondays, only on Telesur. In a world infested by inequalities, abuse of power, and injustice, the American journalist Abby Martin covers the struggle for fundamental rights worldwide, deepening into the search of files which uncover the empire's strategies through our screen and web platform in English. The Empire Files with Abby Martin. Tuesday, only on Telesur.
为了保持身体健康，我冥想。
Para mantenerme saludable, yo corro.
To keep myself healthy, I study.
Για να διατηρηθώ υγιής, τρέφομαι σωστά.
Para mantenerme saludable, yo bailo.
Para mantenerme saludable, yo purifico mi espíritu a través del cuerpo. ¿Y tú?
Get your body. Tuesdays, only on Telesur.
And we are back. It is no secret that Argentina is struggling to strengthen its severely weakened economy. At the moment, 32.6% of the population live below the poverty line. We detailed their challenges on this report.
There will be little to celebrate this New Year's Eve in thousands of Argentine homes. A third of the country's population live in poverty, a figure which has grown alarmingly in the last 12 months. The new data is overwhelming. 13 million people in the country are in poverty.
With the economic policies that the government are pushing, demonstrations are going to grow. A year has passed and teachers are yet to sign wage agreements. It means the administration is moving forward with its economic model, so protests on the street will continue.
The number of families sleeping on the street is multiplying every day because they don't have the resources to rent a place to live. It's estimated that 10% of the population are on the poverty threshold, which means that close to 2.5 million Argentinians can afford basic amenities.
Mauricio Macri's government wants to keep its policy of starvation, of destroying sources of work, of shutting down schools. He's closing factories and hospitals. He wants to control everything through repression.
The gap between those who have the most with those who have least continues to grow. The rich have more than 31.8%, whilst the poorest have just 1.7%. The wealthiest sector of society have 18 times more income than the poorest.
The people united will never be defeated. Today more than ever, let's work for unity between workers. It's something that you didn't see too often before we have to turn this into a big inclusive national democratic front. to defeat this government in the polls, so that the neoliberalism doesn't return to Argentina, and we can kick it out of Latin America.
The tough situation poor neighborhoods find themselves in is becoming more evident. Hunger and unemployment are growing. 60% of the population live in areas with the risk of flooding or near landfills. With the flooding in recent days, there's little to celebrate in these holidays.
And the opposition in the Democratic Republic of Congo has reacted angrily to the decision to delay elections until March in at least 3 regions. There will be a delay in the city of Beni, which has been dealing with an Ebola outbreak since August. Also affected is the city of Jumbi, where the ethnic violence led to the murders of more than 100 people. The opposition has described the move as a government ploy because the regions in question are opposition strongholds.
This decision made by the Electoral Commission is a suicidal decision. This is an unfounded decision. We know very well that the disease that is being invoked for the Butembo-Beni region is a disease that has no impact on the holding of elections.
However, the Electoral Commission has defended its decision and said it is acting within the law.
If
the CNE fails to organize an election in one or more constituencies, the procedure is clear. We will take into account the votes validly cast and available. Go and read Article 84 of the implementation measures. That's what's going to happen because we're not going to stop everything. Even in the most civilized countries, we have seen in the US that votes in Carolina are being recounted.
Israel's parliament has voted to dissolve itself and holds early elections in April, 7 months before their November due date. On Monday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with the political party within his coalition, who agreed to hold early elections. Netanyahu's coalition has been struggling with a one-seat majority since his defense minister stepped down in November. Early elections are almost a norm in Israel as no government has served out its full term since 1988. And Hamas, who govern the Gaza Strip in Palestine, have rejected the dissolution of the Palestinian Legislative Council. Hamas held a special parliamentary session to denounce President Mahmoud Abbas' decision to disband parliament. It claims that the decision has no constitutional value and no legitimacy. And the Russian President Vladimir Putin has said the country is ready to deploy its hypersonic nuclear-capable missiles next year. The announcement came after the Defense Ministry confirmed the first test launch of the missile system known as Avangard from an air base in the southwest of the country. In March, Putin had announced an array of new weapons, including the Avangard. He observed the launch from the Defense Ministry headquarters in Moscow.
The new Avangard missile system is invincible for today's and future air defense systems and missile defense systems. This is a big success and a big victory.
And the Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko has announced that the period of martial law in his country has expired. It was imposed in November after Russia captured 3 Ukrainian vessels and they said they entered Russian waters. But Poroshenko also said that if it wasn't for the upcoming elections, he would have asked Parliament to extend the period of martial law.
Today, at 2 p.m., martial law expires. It is my fundamental decision. It is based on analysis of all the aspects of security in the country.
Наголошую, твердо і переконливо.
I firmly underline that Ukraine will never stop using its Azov ports, including by the military vessels. Truth is on our side. International law in particular is on our side. International support is on our side, and we will use all diplomatic means.
It might be freezing in China, Jilin province, but people there are busy preparing for Friday's annual winter fishing festival at the Shangan Lake. This year's festival revolves around ecological fishing and tourism, with fishing, watching, snow cape sightseeing, and various traditional performances. And over 200 people will compete in ice sculpting. Over the years, the festival has helped boost local economy. This time, roughly 1,500 tons of fish are expected to hit the market. And today marks the 125th anniversary of the birth of Mao Zedong, the founder of modern China, whose legacy remains deeply contested. Commonly called Chairman Mao, He became a leading figure in the Communist Party, which he would eventually share. Mao died at the age of 83 in Beijing. He was laid to rest in a mausoleum in the capital's main square. Like this, we've come to the end of this news brief, but you can read and watch much more on our website, telesurenglish.net, where of course you can find opinion articles and special interviews. Continue with Telesur until next time.